The olive oil tasting, now we're getting closer to the point of today. It's a scientific objectivity. So it's not that I'm telling you how good an olive oil is. Thanks God, in this industry, we don't have a Robert Parker. That guy that is pointing you, and when he's not pointing you, is, well, you're out of the world of the wines, okay? To taste olive oil, we need a group of people. And this could be an olive oil, maybe a little bit larger. It's about 9 to 12 people. That's an olive oil tasting. So it's a great challenge because we need to have the same results here in Valladolid, in Córdoba, in New York, in Sydney, in everywhere, okay? But how is it achieved? We always use the same technique, the same language, and the same concepts, okay? And we have a continuous evaluation. I don't know if you know that the cells that are reminding us the flavor, they last only 90 days. If we don't retrain it, we will forget what is that flavor, except that we associate with a strong emotion, so it goes into the hypothalamus. So this is why we have olfactive, aromatic memories from our childhood. We remember the aroma of our grandma's house, because you associate that with emotions. That's the only way to preserve an aroma for a long time. If don't, you need to train. Just for you to know, we think that animals, they are the ones that have a very powerful aroma, and it's not true. They have a very powerful ortho nose. What does it mean? That what is coming from outside, they have a very good nose. But once they taste the meat, for example, they don't care if it's chicken, lamb, if it's cow, if it's pork, they don't care about that. We humans, we dedicate about almost 11% of our genes just for the building up of an aromatic image. We think that we have a very good sense of view, but we just have 3 senses. And with the olfactic bulb, I mean, it's so complex. We can talk about that later on if you want, but it's so complex, okay? So we could say that the positive attributes are always given by the nature, and the negative attributes are always given by the bad procedures of the human being, okay? With the olive oil tasting, we can know, for example, if the olives, they have been harvested not from the tree, but from the ground. We can know if those olives in a cold area, they have been iced. We can know if there's a bug from the fly that has touched those olives. We can know if they were outside more time than necessary to extract it. We can know everything. But the main thing for me that I would be happy if you learn it today is that olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, has to remind you always to alive things on the nature. Always. This is the tasting sheet. This is the tasting glass. You have in front of you all of them. And this is the tasting room, and this is quite similar. We just would need to have one board here, one separation here, and I would be giving you the olive oils in a little door like this one. But let's go on the process. So now we have 4 glasses in front of you. These glasses are blue in purpose. The olive oil color, the color of the olive oil is amazing for cooking. It's wonderful for cooking. You can see it can give color to the recipes, but for tasting, just will give you a prejudgment. We don't want any prejudgment. To taste olive oil, to know what is the true flavor of the olive oil, we need to taste it straight ahead, not with breath, nothing else, just straight ahead. This is the technique that I will show you today, how does it works. How is that technique? So that technique is very easy. If you take, we will begin from your left to the right. We will taste 4 varieties today. If you take your glass in your hands, you will notice that it's a little bit cold. Usually the olive oil is tasted on 28 degrees of temperature. So we need to warm it up a little bit. As I said before, it's a pity that you cannot get drunk with olive oil, because the olive oil has very little volatiles, much lighter than alcohol has, because the alcohol evaporates in room temperature, but the olive oil does not. So to do that, To get the true aroma of the olive oil, we need to warm it up, but not about that temperature, because if don't, we will burn it and we wouldn't get all the good things of the olive oil. This is why when you cook with olive oil, with extra virgin olive oil at the first stage, you put it in the pan and you get all the aroma. But just for seconds, because after those 28 degrees of temperature, it's burned out. On the aromatic sense, point of view, not on the cooking process, okay? So how we do that? This is very simple. I will show you the technique. The rest of the oils, I don't want to be the one and only talking. I want to get your perceptions on your ideas and what you get on the olive oil. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake because we are learning. There's no problem. So don't be afraid of that. So this one, this is like, have you seen The Lord of the Rings? Yeah. Have you seen Gollum? Yeah. So you have to keep it like your treasure. Yeah. You keep it warm. And you begin to make friction until you feel that the temperature of the glass is almost the same as the wine, until you don't feel the coldness of the glass. Okay? Then you have this piece of glass on top of it. This is to avoid that you get all the aromas away. The second thing we have to do is you have two options. Please don't make a mess. You have two options. Or you shake a little bit like this, or without releasing the cap, you do like this. Why is that? This will increase the surface of evaporation, so we will have much more aroma. And now, very close to our nose, we uncap. Nice. Nice. So I will show you what is the balls. This is a ball dancing. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's always the same process. The first one is to take the aroma. That aroma, we call it fruitness. And it's the intensity of the aroma. In the world of olive oil, it's the intensity of the aroma. We have three options that are light intensity, medium intensity, high intensity. All of them are great. Even many contexts, they divide the qualification of the context by light, medium, and intense. And no one is better than other, okay? So the first thing is to know how intense the aroma is. How to get that? There's a little trick. It's very easy. If you can get the aroma just from here, without touching the nose and the edge of the glass, it's an intense olive oil. If just posing your nose on the edge, like this, you need that to get the aroma, then that's a medium intensity. If you need to dig your nose on the glass to do like this, that's a light one, okay? So this one, you will help me to decide if it's light, medium, or intense. What do you think? Intense. Nice. It's an intense, okay? The next thing, the second step, that fruitness, that intensity of aroma, I will call it fruitness from now on, it can be two options. It can be ripe or green. So it can remind you to ripe things of the nature, like ripe fruit, things like that, or green things of the nature, like green grass, like leaves, fresh branches, things like that. What do you think is this one? This is very easy. It's 50%. You flip the coin, but you need to justify why, okay? Ripe or green? You close your eyes and you think about similar aromas you get when you're cooking, when you go to the market.
For me, it's green.
It's green. Yeah. Why?
Because it reminds me when I'm that salad that, that cebolleta, the green part.
Okay. So leaves, no? Yeah. It's like leaves. Or, okay.
Lettuce.
Yes, something like that. What else?
Like grass.
Green like grass. Don't you get any fruit here?
Yeah.
Which one?
Fruit.
Can you talk louder, please?
For me, it's like a ripe avocado.
Ripe avocado. Could be. Banana. We're getting closer now. This is going better. So this is a ripe fruitness. It's a little bit tricky because it's mainly ripe, but it has a little bit of green. That, whoever says that it's green grass, it has a little bit of green grass. But the first hint of flavor you get is a ripe banana. It's ripe banana and also ripe apple. Have you done, I mean, you're too young to know that. The one who we've been fathers, we know that a lot. So when you make that, the grind fruit with the biscuits for the kids, for the babies, have you ever smelled it with your brothers or, yes? That's a kind of the aroma. That usually you use ripe fruits to make it, okay? So mainly this is ripe, more than green. It has green, but it's ripe. And you will see in the next olive oils what is the real difference in between ripe and so please keep talking. Don't be. So now we have a high intensity, we have a ripe fruitness, and now is the next step. And this one is funny because it's a little bit disgusting. Okay, it makes a noise that is. But if you ever have your own restaurants, and a guy is coming to the restaurant, and you show them a glass like this one to sell you olive oil, and you show them a glass like this one, no, I'm going to taste on my glass. And you make that noise that I will show you how it's done, they will say, wow, this guy knows about olive oil, okay? So it's very simple. You take don't drink it all, just take a little bit of it, enough to spread all over the mouth. And you sniff that little amount, and at the same time, once you have it on your mouth, you open your lips, close your teeth, take inside and cut it with the tongue. Wow, that's very simple. It's like this. Okay? This will help you to oxygenate the olive oil. Be careful, because it's very easy to swallow the olive oil immediately after doing that. Don't do that. The olive oil has to remain in the mouth more than half a minute. Has to be emulsionated with the saliva really well. And mainly, because if the olive oil is very piquant, you will have that hotness, okay? So you have to mix that with the saliva really well. I will do it for you, the first one. And you leave it in the mouth. I still have it in my mouth. Do not swallow it. Please, go ahead. Don't take too little, don't take too much. Now, when you feel that the olive oil has a little bit of watery texture, then you can swallow it. And now the process. Listen carefully. The one and only basic flavor, I still have it in the mouth. The one and only basic flavor we get in extra virgin olive oil is the bitterness. The absence of bitterness, we call it sweetness in olive oil. So it's not sweet like a candy, like sugar, nothing like that. It's the absence of bitterness. The rest are aftertaste sensations and tactile sensations, touchy sensations. So is this olive oil having a lot of bitterness? No. It's very important to have not only the nose, but also the taste. I will make you a little show. There is some people, and I will also say some chefs, that when they buy olive oil, they get a little bit on their hands, they pour on the hands, and they do like this. And that, well, first the hands have to be clean, okay? Second, you don't have the concentration and the proper temperature as we have control on the glass. And second and third, you don't feel the flavor of the olive oil. That at the end is what you will put in your recipe. So you need to taste the olive oil. I still have it here in my mouth. Now it's solo. It's absolutely sweet. I have a nutty sensation. It's like when you eat raw nuts. It's absolutely ripe, and it's very balanced. It's a very velvety olive oil. It's very balanced. I will show you afterwards on the kitchen what is a good use for this olive oil. This is arbequina. This is a very easy olive oil. It's originally coming from Catalonia, but now it's spread all over the world. I have even found plantations of Arbequina in Texas. You have it in Australia, you have them in Argentina, in Chile, all over the world. And you have also all over Spain. For me, it's like the pop music of the olive oils. It's the easy one. It's the easy to get olive oil because it has no bitterness, no piquancy, no. People love this olive oil. Okay. Now you have in front of you water, and you have also some little bread sticks. This is the thing. You can use this one or apple. This is the thing that will clean our palate. As I said before, the olive oil has only bitterness as a basic flavor. So we will clean our palate now. Okay? You take a piece of this and then you drink water. And we go to the second one. Once again, we do the Gollum thing, okay? We warm it up. Always be sure to have it covered. Now, will begin to get interesting. Have you cleaned your palate with water and breadsticks? You can make friction with a glass, okay? And when you feel that the coldness is gone, you can make the tasting process. Have you ever done an olive oil tasting before? Never? Have you ever thought about drinking olive oil by itself? No? Ferradria is the second chef of José Andrés. He made an olive oil martini. Yeah, it's very nice. We could have done it upstairs. So now that you feel that the coldness is gone, we have to extend the surface of evaporation, and very close to the nose, you get the aroma. Very close to the nose, we get the aroma. Come on. Is more intense or less intense than the one before? Less. We need to dig the nose a little bit more. We need to so we could say this is medium. And is ripe or is green? Why?
Because it doesn't smell like red fruit, it's more of a crisp smell.
Can you repeat that for me? A little bit louder?
It's more of a crisp smell, not as sweet.
Sweet is something we feel in the mouth. It's not something we get on the nose. And crisp is also something we feel in the mouth. We don't get in the nose. So when we have, for example, you can tell me it reminds you to muffins. Then it's not the sweetness of the muffins, it's the aroma of the muffins, for example. That could be a good reason why. I'm not telling you that because it's just because the process of tasting olive oil is very stringent and it's very always the same. So a big misconcept on tasting olive oil is to make a confusion on the definitions. This is what I said before, it's about the common language. So you have to give me something that is, for example, when you say sweet and green, I really don't match what is sweet and green on my mind on the aroma. What could be?
Like the fresh cut grass.
Fresh cutted grass, perfect. The fresh cutted grass is sweet? No. Okay. That's the process. You have to remind about the aromas, not about the flavor. Okay? So fresh cutted grass, tomato. What else? Tomato. And that tomato is ripe or is green? Green tomato.
Yeah,
For you is ripe. Okay? So we are talking.
like more light, I think.
Yes, we said that before. The intensity of the aroma is less than the one before. The other one, just from here, you was getting the aroma. This one you need to put your nose, no problem. Put your nose on the edge of the glass.
I think this one is more
Okay. Enough. Okay. Stop it. Okay, that's enough. We have clearly tomato here, okay? And that tomato, we have two options. We get a little bit of not green grass, we get green leaves more than green grass in here. And we have a perfect combination in this olive oil of the exact amount of ripe aroma and green aroma. The tomato we get on the nose is ripe tomato. And what we get green are green leaves. It's like when you crush leaves or salad leaves on your hand, it's exactly the same aroma, okay? Now we go for the tasting. Do not swallow quickly. Do not swallow quickly. Bitterness.
Green.
Green. Okay? We feel the bitterness, and we have another sensation, a new one. Now you feel the grass. It's like when you eat raw leaves directly. It's the same sensation. But it's very gentle. It's very nice. It's not something disgusting. It's not something. We have the bitterness also. And we have something more that is not too much. There is a little bit of astringency. Spiciness, yes, could be. Okay? And now we begin to feel a little bit of hotness. Right on the horizontal part of the back throat. But it's like fresh pepper. It's very nice. And you also begin to feel something here. And in the lips. That is the astringency. The astringency is caused by the tannins, like the wine. Because we have a peat in this process, we have the tannins also. And the final result of this olive oil is a balance. It's very balanced. Everything has sense in what we have tasted before. Isn't it? Everybody agree? Yeah? Clean palate and go for the next one. Hojiblanca. Hojiblanca means white leaf. Because the back part of the leaf is more clear, it's more white than the rest of the varieties. This is why it's called Hojiblanca. Hojiblanca is mainly for the province of Córdoba, Málaga, and some part of Sevilla. No, Jaén doesn't have that much Hojiblanca, mainly Picual, we will see later. And this is a great variety. This is one of those varieties that you can find more difference in flavors from one producer to another. It's very versatile. And it's also used for table olives. She's asking if the olive oil has to be hot on the tongue. As I said before, it can be in the beginning of the tongue, it can be at the back of the throat, it can be here in the throat. Depending on the variety, you have different areas where you can feel the piquancy. It doesn't have to be always on the same place. But to be piquant is good. We use ingredients in the kitchen that they are hot. For example, if you use this olive oil, it has piquancy but not that much, we will see later. If we use pepper or chili in a recipe with this type of olive oil, we know that we have to reduce the amount of pepper or we have to reduce the amount of chili in that recipe because some piquancy we are already adding with this one. Okay? So the main thing is to be able to play with the flavor. This is why we taste right straight ahead, because this flavor is going to be placed afterwards in our recipe. This is why we need to taste the olive oil straight ahead. So we warm it up once again. We enlarge the surface of evaporation, that we can do a little bit of this one too, and then we get the aroma. Different. We have tasted 3 different olive oils up to now, and they all have a different aroma. Intensity, we set up the light, medium. For me it's medium. It doesn't have to be that rough. I mean, if it's a little bit less than the one before, and the one before was medium, this could be light medium, okay? But I mean, you can get the aroma very easily. You don't, even if you need to dig your nose a little bit more, you can get the aroma very easily. Green or grass? Sorry, green or ripe? Ripe? Why? Why ripe? You have to justify that. Because if don't, it's like flipping a coin. Orange? You said orange? Apple?
Yeah, apple, green apple.
Perfect. Perfect. You're learning. You learn really quickly. That's very good. This is green apple. Yeah? And it's very evident. It's very, very evident. You get the apple there. Okay? Wow. Much more bitterness than the one before. You get the confirmation of the apple, but you have also a lot of bitterness and astringency, both of them. Hot, spicy, hot. Did you swallow? No. There.
I'm sure I did it in here. So.
Yes, too quickly. That was too quickly. So here we have the lips are thicker than before, so has a lot of astringency. Now the piquancy is in the back of the throat and all over the mouth.
Yeah.
You can feel like when you have chili. I mean, you know what chili is much more powerful, but I mean, you can feel in the whole mouth.
Yeah.
And as time goes by, has a little bit more of piquancy.
Yeah.
And now it's beginning to reduce the piquancy. So it's a process. To taste olive oil, you need about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, more or less. The final sensation is very, very delightful and balanced.
Yeah.
So what we got from the aroma and what we have now up to the tasting is very balanced. Now we get less leaves than before, but we have all the astringency there. It's very, very nice olive oil. This is cornicabra. This is cuerno de cabra. This is the horn of the goat. And this is typically coming from the center of Spain, from Toledo area. Toledo, Ciudad Real, all that area. This is an amazing oil for cooking. The different varieties, they behave differently when we apply temperature to them. There are some of them that they stand temperature much better than others. This cornicabra is wonderful for that. The next one we will have is wonderful for that. Arbequina, for example, is not a standing temperature. It's more fragile than this one, for example. Okay? This is very nice. This is when, like when we have fresh vegetables and we have that bitterness on it. It's a wonderful one. Okay? So let's go for the last one. We take a piece of breadstick. Next one and last one is a little bit warm up. Yes? Is the cold of the glass already gone? Yes? Go ahead. Light, medium, or intense?
Intense.
It's less intense than the first one, but it's the most intense. It's the second more intense of all the 4 ones, isn't it? Yeah? Green or grass? When you do that, she's doing like this. Sorry, this is good. I mean, she leaves like this. You have to cover back and then get back again. Because if you don't, after 1 minute or 2, all the aroma of the olive oil will be gone. So it will not be concentrated on the edge of the glass. So you're gonna get saturated and also will get less aroma on the olive oil. Just an advice. Okay. Green or ripe? Green. Why? But why is green? It's not elimination. It's not. It's green because I don't get ripe. What reminds you?
Will make you feel like freshness in my back of the throat.
Okay, but what kind of freshness? What is coming from?
Leaves from
Leaves?
forward.
Somebody said leaves. It's not basil. It's the tomato plant aroma. This is the aroma. When do you have a garden at home? Have you ever had it? With tomate or with jitomate in Mexico? Yes, so when you have the tomato leaves, this is, This is the aroma of the tomato leaves. This is typical from this variety. This is Picual. Only this variety, this is mainly coming from Jaén. We have also in Granada, we have also in Córdoba, and we have all over the world. But only this variety, only from this single variety, Spain produces much more olive oil than whole Italy. Only this variety. So this is green. We agree all is a medium to intense, and it's a green fruitness. Now we go for the tasting. Go ahead. The first thing we get is bitterness.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember about endives? Endivias? People say, I don't like bitterness, I don't like piquancy, I don't like hotness, but they like endives. This tastes to endives. This is the same bitterness as the endives, and they love it with blue cheese, okay? So, play with the flavor. The next thing, we have much more bitterness, much more astringency than the ones before. You feel your lips very thick now. These are the tannins. And this olive oil has something that I love. I love to name the happy goat effect. The goats are the most gourmand animals on the countryside. So they just take the most tender new leaves, the most tender grass. They just eat the best on the countryside. All green. This is, you're getting the happy goat effect. You are getting the best green on the countryside. It's really wonderful. And now the piquancy is on the back. It's hot. You have it on the back. And very evident. Very evident. But once again, everything has a coherence. It's a balanced olive oil. All the olive oils we have tasted, they have a lot of balance. Being an olive oil balance, having coherence when you get on the aroma and when you get on the mouth is a plus point. So these oils, they are A because they are very good, but they are plus because they are balanced also. It's a wonderful one.
I felt like cool. My tongue is like cool.
Yes? That's the astringency. These are the tannins. You feel it thick.
They're like tannin.
Yes, these are like the tannins. This is the astringency. The olive oils that they have astringency and they have bitterness, usually, it's not always, but in most of the occasions, they are good for cooking. They stand temperature much better and they last with the flavor longer. The olive oil has a curve of life. It's a life product, has its own life. So the olive oil flavor, it's evolving on its life. It has best before date. It doesn't have expiry date. So you never get sick with an olive oil that is above best before date, like milk, for example.
So you need them to get better with age?
No, this is like a juice, as I said before. And the best temperature to keep the olive oil is 17 degrees centigrade, between 15 to 17, and away from light. There's 3 enemies for the olive oil, and I tell you this before and then I explain you. There's 3 enemies for the olive oil. Is light, is air, and is temperature. They all change the flavor of the olive oil. If you take one of these lovely bottles, transparent ones, and now with the summer days we have, that is about 30 degrees, we put it on the window with all the sunlight we have. In 3-4 days, this lovely color is going to be transparent, absolutely transparent. And without opening the bottle, we will have an oxidated olive oil. Will taste to rancid because it's an enemy of the olive oil. And the time is exactly as it makes the same effect as the temperature. The temperature is the quickest one. We can oxidate an olive oil. The second one is the light, and the third one is the air. Okay, so the time is an oxidation through the air. Is the one that will make an olive oil being rancid and not tasting good. But anyhow, it can be used, for example, for frying. We can fry an olive oil because you have to consider that the frying with olive oil is an accelerated oxidation. So if it's a little bit rancid, we put it on the pan, we can use for frying. We have to get away of that flavor, but after 2 or 3 times, it's going to be exactly like another olive oil that has been used before, okay? So guys, now we will go, sorry?
What's the name of the last one we tasted?
Picual. Picual is becoming from the Spanish word pico. Pico means a peak shape, okay? This is mainly from Jaén, Córdoba, and Granada. Those are the main cultivation areas. We have also in Castilla-La Mancha a little bit, but mainly Jaén, and then Córdoba and Granada. There's some new techniques that they don't press in vacuum, but they press in controlled atmosphere. So they substitute the oxygen with nitrogen, for example. That is not causing the oxidation. Anyhow, it's one of the points of making quality olive oil. To make an amazing quality orange juice, you just need to have the freshest orange juice, the quickest and cleanest extraction process, and the quickest you get it. So if you have a vacuum orange juice, squeeze it, you will have an amazing machine, but I mean, you have to be very, very specialist to get the difference on flavor. So you have to compare always with a fresh fruit juice, okay?